Figuring out what's actually true these days, it's never been harder, right? But it's also never been more important. So today, we're not just going to sit around and talk about the problem. Nope. We are going to dive into a really powerful framework for actually solving it. Let's get into it.
Okay, let's kick things off with a question that honestly kind of reframes everything. What if knowing what's real isn't some gift you're born with? What if it's a skill that you can build? Because that's the core idea we're going to unpack here. The idea that you can literally learn to master reality.
All right, let's just call it what it is. We're living in what people call the post-truth era. And what does that even mean? Well, it's a time where feelings and emotional appeals often seem to matter more than cold, hard facts. And look, this isn't just some abstract challenge. This is the new world we all have to figure out how to navigate every single day. So let's start with section 1, the post-truth challenge. And the subtitle here is Key: Navigating a World of Synthetic Reality. I mean, think about it. We're trying to find our way through a world where reality itself can feel, well, fake. The old saying, seeing is believing, yeah, that doesn't really cut it anymore. And the threats we're up against have gotten super specific and, frankly, a little scary. You've got deepfakes, right? These AI-generated videos that can make it look like anyone said or did anything. Then there's synthetic reality. We're talking about totally fabricated events that are engineered to look completely genuine. And don't even get me started on AI hallucinations, where an AI will just confidently make stuff up and present it as fact. It's a lot. So here's the big takeaway from all that. In this new world, the single most valuable skill you can have is just the ability to tell what's real from what's not. And this isn't about being cynical or pessimistic, not at all. It's about being equipped. It's about having a modern-day superpower. Okay, so if that's the challenge, what's the solution? How do we fight back? Well, that brings us to our next section, a new way of knowing. It's all about adopting what you might call a forensic mindset. We have to stop being just passive consumers of information and start becoming active investigators. And this quote right here really gets to the heart of this new mindset. Truth is not given, it is manufactured. Think about that. Truth isn't just out there waiting for you to find it. It's built, it's constructed, it's packaged, it's presented to you. So your job? Your job is to reverse engineer reality. You've got to take it apart and see exactly how it was put together. Now, there's a formal name for this whole idea: forensic epistemology. Yeah, I know, it sounds super academic, right? But the concept is actually really simple. You basically become a detective for information. You investigate the clues, the origin, the structure of every single thing you read or see before you decide if it's legit. And a huge part of this is learning something called the discipline of falsification. Now, this is a game changer. Instead of trying to prove something is true, which is what we normally do, you flip it. You actively try to prove it's false. It sounds like a small change, but trust me, that simple switch in how you approach things, it changes everything. All right, so this brings us to the really practical part, our tool. We're moving on to the 3-point check. This is your protocol for auditing information. This is where all that theory we've been talking about turns into a simple, actionable checklist. And here it is. We call it the Veracity Triangulation method. It's just 3 steps. That's it. Step 1, check the source origin. Step 2, conduct an incentive audit. And step 3, run a falsifiability test. Basically, you're asking, where'd this come from? Who benefits if I believe it? And can it be proven wrong? Super simple, easy to remember, and you won't believe how powerful it is. Okay, let's dive into that first check. Who created this? I know it sounds almost too basic, but honestly, this is the foundation for everything else. Was it an actual expert, a reputable journalist, or was it some anonymous account, or even a bot? Just figuring out the origin is your first and maybe most important reality filter. All right, on to the second check. Who profits from me believing this? This is the incentive audit. And when we say profit, we're not just talking about money, right? It could be political power, it could be social influence, heck, it could just be getting clicks and attention online. You always, always have to follow the motive. It's absolutely crucial. And that brings us to our third and final check. Can this be proven wrong? This is that falsifiability test we mentioned. Here's the deal. A claim that can't be tested or disproven isn't really a fact. It's a belief. If you can't even imagine a way it could be proven false, then you should be super, super skeptical. So, there you have it. That's our next section, your verification toolkit. It's all about putting that superpower to use.
Source, incentive, and falsifiability. This simple three-point check is your toolkit. It's how you take all this theory and turn it into a practical, everyday skill.
Really, this whole thing boils down to one fundamental shift in your mindset. Don't just accept data, audit it. Stop passively consuming the endless stream of stuff that hits your screen every day and start actively investigating it. That right there is the difference between being a target for information and being a master of it. And that brings us right back to where we started. This method, this whole mindset, it is not about being paranoid. It's about being empowered. Because in an age of synthetic reality, being able to audit what you see and hear, that's not just another skill. It really is the ultimate superpower. So, we'll leave you with this final thought. This tool we've talked about, it's not just for defending yourself. It's for building something better. When you start demanding a higher standard of truth for yourself, you actually help create a more reliable, more solid reality for everyone around you. So now that you have the tool, what reality are you going to build?